Hi, this is Trepacer. Welcome to Trepacer's Saturday Reviews, and as promised, I did go see Ant Man. I saw it in the AMC Prime Theater. That's the theater that the chairs pivot and stuff, so you can see, you can lay all the way back, with feet up and everything. And I saw it in 3D. And I also watched this movie, Ex Machina, which I heard really good things about. So I got this movie on, I think it's Thursday, and I watched it today. So I'm going to talk about Ant Man first. Okay, so this is another part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Of course, and this movie stars, of course, Paul Rudd as Scott Lang / Ant Man, and then you have Michael Douglas as Dr. Hank Pym, the creator of, I guess, of Ant Man, or the original Ant Man. And then you have Evangeline Lilly plays Hank Pym's daughter, Hope Van Dyne, and then you have Corey Stroll who plays Darren Cross, or / Yellow Jacket. Okay, and then you have a bunch of other people, Judy Greer and this Bobby Cannell. Special mention to Michael Pena, who plays Lewis, and T.I.'s in this as well. But a special mention to Michael Pena, who's absolutely hilarious in this movie. He makes a good part of the humor comes from him. Okay, and if you've seen the trailer, you know the basic story. Scott Lang is like a burglar, and actually the movie begins with as a flashback, and it shows in the beginning Dr. Hank Pym having an argument with the late Howard Stark, and of course Peggy Carter and another individual, Mitchell Carson, played by Martin Donovan. Okay, and he's saying, telling, listen, you're not going to steal my technology. This is too dangerous to unleash upon the world. His Pym particles, which shrinks things, and he doesn't want that done, of course. And if you watch the movie, something's happened to his wife, which I don't want to spoil, okay, and which is why he again doesn't want to have the let this government have his design. So he sets about taking it away from them and walking away and resigning his contract. And then he forward to present day. And again, you have Scott Lang, who was in prison, getting out after a stretch for burglary and exposing the company he used to work for espionage. And so he's trying to be straight because he has a daughter from his estranged wife who's moved on. Okay, he has a young daughter named Cassie he's trying to go straight and be legit, of course. And one of his buddies is Michael Pena, who plays Lewis, and of course, and he's trying to mention to him, listen, I have this job that you can, this is an old guy's house that you can, this real rich guy that, it's not there. You can break into his house and it's an easy score. And of course, he kind of resisted at first, Scott Lang, Paul Rudd, but then eventually after trying to, maintain a job and stuff, and this thing's going bad, even when he drops by to see his daughter on her birthday, he decides, you know what, I'm in, and he breaks into the rich guy's house and breaks into the safe, and supposedly for this big score when it's nothing but obviously the Ant Man costume. And then of course we find out that this is just a setup that Dr. Hank Pym, Michael Douglas, has actually been watching Scott Lang, and he knows about his previous story about him breaking into the company he used to work for and all that stuff. So he knows Scott Lang personally, and he's been keeping tabs on him, and he figures he can use Scott Lang and hopefully help Scott Lang turn his life around, because back at his old company, Pym Particles, okay, which he's been out from his company by his protege, Darren Cross, played by Corey Stoll, and he's coming up with a plan to do the same, recreate that Ant Man formula, those Pym Particles. He's coming up with his own version of it, and he figures he has to stop him before his protege, Darren Cross, sells it to the highest bidder. Okay, so he's working, with his daughter to do this, and of course he recruits Scott Lang to come along and help, and that's the basic gist of the story. And this is a fun movie, nice comedy in this movie, but it doesn't distract from the seriousness of the of the main story. With Dr. Hank Pym trying to make sure that his design doesn't fall into the wrong hands, to get sold to people that can to start wars and stuff. He doesn't want his designs and stuff used for that. And of course, Scott Lang comes into the picture because he's trying to redeem himself and trying to go straight and be a good father to his daughter and get to see her and lead a straight life. And it's really, really a fun movie. It's a fun movie, and it's totally worth seeing, and it'll make you laugh. And it has the action scenes are great as well. I love the parts when they're training Scott Lang how to use the Ant Man technology and stuff. I thought that those parts were excellent. And like I said, Michael Pena he's absolutely hilarious as Lewis is Scott Lang's friend, his buddy, who has his back, and it's just absolutely funny. He's just the way they go about telling stories in this movie that you'll crack up laughing. It's just absolutely hilarious. And Michael Douglas is great as Hank Pym. I think he's just fantastic. And him and Evangeline Lilly, who plays his daughter, Hope Van Dyne, I thought they were great together. Okay, and their relationship is complicated to say the least. And this movie is one of the fun. This is a fun movie, and I absolutely love the way it went. And I just can't say enough. This movie's a fun movie, and definitely you want to see this. Okay. It's totally worth seeing because you got the humor is great in this. The serious parts are great, and like I said, I like the whole Scott Lang and working with the Pyms and stuff to stop Darren Cross from doing what he's going to do, and I love the whole training of Scott Lang and the humor which is provided by Michael Pena, and it's just a fun film. I just can't say enough about it. Okay, and also you have to see. I know usually these Marvel movies you have to stick around for the end credit. There's a mid-credit scene in this movie and a post-credit scene. So stick around. Don't leave, okay? Because trust me, these two scenes are totally worth it, okay? In my opinion, okay. And it was always good to see Haley Atwell, who played Peggy Carter. She's in the movie briefly, as well as John Slattery as Howard Stark. And so stick around. You see them in the beginning of the movie, but definitely go see this movie. I'm going to give this movie Ant Man, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Okay, like I said, it had me the funny bits had me cracking up, and it was good. I love the action, and I love the whole Ant-Man technology and the way they executed it in the film. And Paul Rudd makes a good leading man, a good Ant-Man, a good Scott Lang. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing him in more Avengers movies and stuff. I think he's great. I'm going to give Ant-Man an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. Highly recommend it. Definitely go see it. Okay, now, the next movie I'm going to talk about is called Ex Machina. Now, this movie stars Domhnall Gleeson, Lisa Vanderkander, and Oscar Isaac. From the writer of 28 Days Later and Dread, okay, which are two movies I absolutely love. Okay, and I'm going to read you the synopsis on the back of this movie because I saw the Film Junkie, who actually mentioned, he has a wall of best films for 2015 when he does his reviews of movies, and he had this one on there. So that intrigued me to see why he put this on the wall. Was it that good? This is sort of like a sci-fi drama, okay? And basically the story about a guy, Domhnall Gleeson, who wins a competition to spend a week at this mountain estate of his boss, played by Oscar Isaac, who's his boss, and he's a computer programmer, okay? And he arrives to discover that he's been chosen to take part in a study of artificial intelligence. He gets sworn to secrecy. You have to sign a little document that says you can't disclose what you've seen here and stuff. And you're cut off from the outside world, no cell service or anything like that. And Caleb meets his subject, which is a cyborg named Ava, okay, played by Lisa Vanderkat, and basically this is his interaction to see, he wants Oscar Isaac's character, who's the boss, he wants Donald Gleason's character to test, what's the character? I forget it. Ava, to see how she reacts to human and see how advanced her AI is, or artificial intelligence is. And that's the setup for the movie. And this movie has first of all, this movie looks beautiful. Okay, I love the way it was shot. Okay, like I said, they're in a remote, because this guy is a billionaire and he's in this remote location that he flies to, and the house is just absolutely beautifully designed. And again, great performances, I thought, by all three main characters. Donald Gleason, who plays the naive computer programmer who's shocked to find out that he has to interact with this AI. And then, of course, Oscar Isaac, who plays this, what do you call it, not eccentric, but this billionaire inventor who's basically, out there by himself, who calls this guy in to test his subjects, his creation. And of course, Elisa Vanderkander, who plays her part is hard. Like I said, she's the AI or the robot that Donald Gleason's character has to interact with. And this movie was, and there's also a fourth character in there, which that's like a servant that's who supposedly can't speak English, that works for Oscar Isaac, his character, and they break up the segments into I think what's her name to Ava Session 1, Ava Session 2, so you get to see all his interaction with her and stuff, and then you get to see his relationship with Donald Gleason's relationship with Oscar Isaac and how they interact. And I thought it was very, very well done. Like I said, it has sort of a futuristic feel in a way, with the technology that, with the AI, who's this amazing, creation that he has to interact with, he's absolutely, stunned at first when he sees it, and of course, and he has to interact with it, and their interactions are totally worth the price of admission. Okay, their interactions, and of course, he has to go back and, even though Oscar Isaac's character is monitoring their interaction, he actually, he sits at, after, and sits and talks with them and asks him what he thinks, and it has twists and turns to it as well, to this movie, which makes it totally worth. And like I said, it has sort of a futuristic kind of vibe to it as well, and it's just a really, really well done movie. It kept me interested, and like I said, it had a couple of twists and turns to it that I didn't see coming. Okay, and I'm gonna go back actually and watch the ending part, because the ending part to this movie could be interpreted a couple of different ways, and this is definitely a movie that I think if you see it like another time, you can probably get another interpretation of it. But to me, this movie is just absolutely fantastic and totally worth checking out. Okay, so I definitely this is probably one of the best movies I've seen this year. And again, that credit to the writer and the director, and also to the the cast. It's a small cast, but the cast is excellent. And like I said, they shoot basically in one location. Okay, this mountain resort. Well, not a resort, mountain resort, but it's mountain hideaway. Okay, and it's mostly his interaction, Donald Gleason's, with Elisa Vanderkamp, who plays Ava. Okay, and what's his name? Casey, right? That's his name. Yeah, Casey. Yeah, that's his name. Donald Gleason. Yeah, no, not Casey. Caleb. I'm sorry. His name. Donald Gleason's character is named Caleb. Okay, his interaction with Ava. Okay, and all the things they say to each other, and how they interact is fascinating to watch. And Oscar Isaac is great as usual. He's just a fantastic actor, who plays this enigmatic, inventor who's called this young guy here to test his creation, and he is full of surprises as well. Okay, and I definitely recommend getting this movie. This one of the best sci-fi movies I've seen in a while, and I'm gonna give Ex Machina, okay, an 8 out of 10. This is very well done and totally worth getting and watching. Okay, so again, Ex Machina, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Totally worth, one of the best movies I've seen this year, and an 8 out of 10. I highly recommend it. Okay, and Ant Man, which I saw today, which I had a lot of fun with, a lot of good humor in it, and great action, and I love the chemistry between all the actors in the movie, and just a great addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Ant Man, just great. I love the scenes with him testing his equipment, basically, and interacting with the ants, and just the whole thing, the whole setup of the movie was fantastic. And again, special mention to Michael Pena, who plays Lewis. He's absolutely hilarious and totally worth watching the movie for him alone. Okay, but Ant-Man, a great addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I look forward to seeing Ant-Man in future movies. A great creation. I'm glad Marvel decided to add the Ant-Man as a character. He was definitely worth using for a movie. He was fantastic. Anyway, let me know what you think of those two movies. Have you seen them? Feel free to leave comments down below. And this is Trepacer saying so long and take care.